All right, as you guys can see, I am back in the office. As you guys know, about a week ago, I went out to see Luke, got to hang out with him, hang out in California for a little bit. Then I came home for about a day and a half, and I went down to southern Utah and just went on a crazy trip with the UTVs and everything. So I've got some updates from the trip so you guys can check it out, just to mix up the content. Some of you guys are like, hey, post pictures and stuff. So I've done that a little bit in my private groups, but wanted to share it with everyone who watches the videos. So I'll show you a couple clips and explain the trip a little bit, but that'll mix it up for us and give us something interesting to check out. And then of course I always want to cover the crypto stuff, the whole reason we're here, right? We've got a quick drip network and animal farm update. We got to talk about purple beans. Your purple beans, if you're in that team or on that team or jumped in that protocol, then it is likely your claim day or really close to your claim day. So like some of these other protocols, we want it to last. So we're going to take a portion of our profits that we made, that we claimed out, and redeposit them just to keep the train running. In addition to that, before I left town, one of my videos had this little contest, whatever. If you put a comment down below, added your wallet address, then it entered you to win 50 drip if you wanted a shot at the 75 or 100 drip prizes. You also needed to include a transaction of you depositing some more money or getting into purple beans. Unfortunately, none of you guys jumped on that. I did get a handful of comments and wallet addresses in there, but none of them had a purple beans transaction ID. So what I decided to do is, instead of just giving away one $50 drip, I decided to just make all three prizes 50. That way we could still have three winners and would still make this fun. But when I do, I mean, if anybody would even made a $10, $20, $30 deposit into purple beans, they would have automatically won the first place prize and got double the amount of drip. So it is what it is. I'm going to keep doing these cross promotional giveaways to try to get people more involved in the ecosystems and some of the protocols that are out there. And sometimes the best way to get people's interest peaked and stuff like that is to give away free money. So why don't I start my update by giving away the drip. Let me just run three names through the wheel here. I'll do it quick. I'll speed it up so you guys don't have to wait too long, because sometimes you guys don't want to stick around for that. But here are the names. Let's run it. All right, Crypto Clumpy is the first. MJB Crypto 701 is the second. And the Eclectic Cave 8491 is the third. So congratulations to you three. I will get those sent out here in just a second. And thank you all for participating. It's just good to get some interaction. Thanks for commenting on the videos. Obviously it helps. If you like this type of content, again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Just boost us up in the algorithm. More people get to see about these DeFi projects, especially the ones that are going well. It's nice for people from the outside to tune in to try to figure out what this DeFi space is, and a lot of the projects are working. And right now, knock on wood, every project that I'm in is working well. So thank you to the crypto gods for treating me well, for the time being at least. But let's talk drip. What's up with it? While I was out of town, I noticed, I think maybe right before I even left town, we got this thing all the way up to 61 cents. And that was so good to see. This chart only goes up to 55 because it's a limited time frame. But we were up to 61 cents, and that was honestly making my balance look really good. We're just waiting for the triple D. Everyone's super excited for it. You keep seeing these bullish moves. We get a little momentum. We hike up 10 or 15 cents, and then we dip back down. Then we hike up 10 or 15 cents. It's good to see all these dips being bought. So that at least makes me happy. Every time it seems like we dip down, we've got the burning campaign going on. So everyone's burning drip. That's good. And we've got some big buys coming in. So when it dips down, that supply gets eaten up and it puts us in a much better position. So when's drip drop draw going to come out? To be honest, we were supposed to see it early this month, maybe. No word on a launch date yet. They're kind of waiting to have the full UI done with the on and off ramp to launch drip drop draw. So what it seems like is that's not ready yet. So even though drip drop draw is pretty much ready, the other parts aren't, and Forrest wants to release them all at one time. I know he's saying, hey, this month, first half of this month is what he's saying. I doubt it, unfortunately. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I'd be willing to bet that we don't see it till April. And if I was a betting man, I would bet the second half of April. So we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong, because it seems like we build all this momentum up and we get super excited, and then there's just a delay or two that causes us to dip down another 10 or 15 cents. I can't wait for the day to where these little rallies we have just keep going and keep going, and we get up in the $1-2 range, and it's just going to look a lot better from a chart perspective, and to outside investors going, okay, now's the time. Drip's going to go on a rally again. So hopefully soon. I don't have a crystal ball, but if I was to guess, I would say it's sometime next month. Moving on to Animal Farm. Let me connect. Right now, pigs price is up at $61.74 and dogs is down to $13.49. So we did some marketing campaigns recently over the last couple weeks, It seemed like the initial ones were pushing Animal Farm dogs, AFD, pretty heavily. We didn't really see a price rise in those. So from a marketing perspective, from my perspective, those marketing dollars weren't that well spent, but you got to test some stuff out to see what's going to work. So it's not a big deal, but we didn't really see a price increase in dogs. However, the campaigns that they've been running as late in pigs, or promoting the pig token, I should say, those seem to be doing really well. I think we dipped all the way down. I think I saw it at about 48. And once that stuff started to unravel and those campaigns started to make their way through the advertising space, we saw pigs jump up. So whatever they're doing on the pig side, I think that is pretty effective. It sounds like Piggy Plinko is right around the corner, so that's going to get launched soon. Who knows? Maybe later this month. Maybe it's going to be next month. I think we're all, at least most of us, are in the same consensus that Drip needs the most help right now. It needs a little bit of development so it can boost it up. Drip gives people capital to go and then reinvest in Animal Farm. I'd say the majority of people that went heavy in Animal Farm were people that got into Drip fairly early, and they were able to generate some capital to dump in here. So in my opinion, if we can fix the Drip situation, give it some more utility and boost that up, Animal Farm is going to get a lot more traction, because those users will eventually make some money and migrate it over to Animal Farm. And Animal Farm, there's going to be 10 different games coming out. So when that happens and people start playing all those different games, those asset prices will go up, and Animal Farm, of course, will start looking more and more appealing, especially with the native tokens. So that's what we're seeing right now, a little bit more of the hurry up and wait scenario. So we'll see what happens, but I'm incredibly excited about Drip Drop Draw. That's my next big thing that I'm most excited about. The games for the Animal Farm, they sound really interesting to me. I'll probably play them a little bit, especially if I can make a little bit of money. But gaming's not really my thing. It's not really something I get into all that often, especially things where you have to get good at it and play it real consistently. I'll definitely come in and go full DJing and do the Piggy Plinko here and there. I'll do it on camera so it can create some content. And I'll definitely be playing Drip Drop Draw. So if it's kind of lottery style, I know it's not lottery, something I can come in and do real quick, and I don't gotta have any types of scores in the game and stuff. I think the hacker theme game, as an example, is something that I need to actually get good at to be able to succeed. I won't really have the time to play stuff like that, but I'm definitely down for the full DJing stuff, as you guys know. So anyway, that's Drip and Animal Farm. Excited for the next couple months. I mean, the spring should be good. March, April timeframe as we roll into the summer. If we can get some momentum, we could see a really good summer. Jumping over to Purple Beans. So Purple Beans, their token launches in about 14 hours, so that'll be the middle of the night for me. But they are launching a Purple Beans token, so that's going on. They're doing some stuff to build out the ecosystem. Everything's looking smooth. I am going to redeposit my money. My initial investment, as you guys know, was $16.16. I just had my withdrawal. My first plan is still on this 100-day time frame, so I've got 90 days left, 89 days. So let's go in here and redeposit some money. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to redeposit $284, so it brings me to an even number since I had $16.16 here. So let's approve USDC and let's confirm it on the ledger. As you guys know, MetaMask's just been garbage lately. I'm about to switch over to Rabby. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that. I know a couple people switched over. For the most part, everyone says they love it. So if you switched over to Rabby, comment down below. Tell me what you like about it. I'm really interested to know. If I get some time later this week, I'm probably going to transition over to that, because MetaMask right now is absolute trash. All right, let's see if we can get this transaction to go through. Okay, even though MetaMask says it's still working, it's obviously not, because I've got that additional 284 down in here. So that's exciting. So far, this protocol is working really well. If you are in Purple Beans, please consider that when you take your claim, you redeposit a portion of the funds. It's working really, really well with other platforms, doing a 50% redeposit. It's working really, really well for Wolf Capital. It's working well for Mischief of Fortune. All the Fortune Hunters protocols are kind of doing the same thing. So everyone who's in those is trying to redeposit about 50% of those funds to elongate the contract and keep the train running. So please consider doing that here. If you're going to take a claim out, keep some of the money for yourself, and redeposit a portion of those funds back into the protocol so it can last longer for everyone. Now, crypto's a solar sport, so you're gonna have to do whatever works for you. Maybe it's 30%, 40%, 50%. I wouldn't do any more than 50% personally. I think it's really important to take profits along the way as you go. Right now, I wanna say in Mischief of Fortune, I'm maybe a little bit over 50% to ROI, and it looks like the contract's gonna last at least another 9, 10, 11, 12 months or more. So this system of redepositing is working really well over there. I'm hoping that you guys will see that and jump on board with that strategy as well. So far that's going really well. Let's just hit a couple real quick. AITC, this one's paying out, still working smoothly. I did my second claim, so I'm just working my way up. Every time I claim, I'm getting about 10% back of my ROI, so that's working well. ark.fi, running super smooth. We're building the team. Absolutely no complaints here. Stable Beans is going really well too. The token they came out with has like a crazy TVL. Everything's been skyrocketing. This is probably the least performing thing that they've got in the ecosystem. So I'm just trying to compound every 12 hours, or at least as close to it. I've missed it a few times, but I compound, get this up to 10 times, let it build up. So far I've taken out 217, so about 25%, a little over that to ROI in my claims. So good to see that. Like I said, Wolf Capital, our team is up to 74 members. We got 22,000 in there. So a little under 3,000. We're going to bump this up to 1.5%. That's a pretty good return. So I'm feeling really good about that one. Mischief of Fortune, like I said, I actually made a much larger redeposit than I meant to last time. I took my claim out. Let's see if you can see that. I took my claim out here, and then I redeposited, and somehow within 15 seconds it processed the transaction twice. So instead of putting 50 back in, I put 100 back in, but whatever, is what it is. Protocol is working really well. Still a good amount in the TVL. They do have some collateral rehypothecation going on. So overall, really solid platform. In addition to that, we also jumped in Speakeasy while I was out of town. I will do a full tutorial, or a better tutorial, I should say, on this in the next couple days. The video I put out, I was literally sitting in the seat of my Can-Am, just trying to get into the system and trying to record to make sure that I got in on launch day, because as you guys know, I like to get in as early as possible. So if you wanted to get into this one, the basics, of course, are you can get in. You don't really need to do anything else. You'll get 0.25% per day. If you want to boost that up, you can buy an MKC, which is just a membership card to the Speakeasy that will give you an additional 0.25 boost. So 0.5% a day, which is solid. And then if you want to mint one of these cocktail NFTs, each one of these cocktails is going to give you a different percentage, the highest one being an additional 1%. So you can earn up to 1.5% in this protocol, and they're coming out with a lot of new stuff. I've been talking to the dev and the owner of the protocol for a little while, and they're super excited about all the stuff they're rolling out. So if they're excited, I'm excited too. They're really trustworthy. So I have no doubt that this protocol will do really well. It's just been a couple days, but they got 348 BNB, which is 115,000 basically, so really solid. And I think this dollar amount was higher. We've just seen a little bit of pullback with BNB. So it's doing really well. They, of course, have collateral rehypothecation, and they're pretty open about where they're putting those funds to generate additional yields. So if you want to check this one out, there should be a link in the description below. If you want to use my referral address, it's just my wallet address. You can paste it in here, but I think it caps on referral bonuses. It's pretty low, so it's not something that'll make a huge impact. But if you want to support me, you're welcome to put that in there. Now, if you guys have made it this far, do you want to check out my vacation real quick? Let me bring just a couple pics up, maybe a couple videos. I'll let you guys check them out. You can let me know what you think, and I'll give you some color commentary in between. Let me see if I can bring this stuff up real quick. All right, this is clip number one. First off, the video doesn't do it justice. We had to go up this super skinny deal. There's a huge cliff on the right side. If you fall down that, you've totaled your machine. And on the left side, there's a little lip here as well. But as you can see, my tires are just hugging either side. It's way worse in person than it looks like on video. But there's a bunch of parts where your tires can't really reach the ground, so you're just scraping on the body. But that's pretty normal if you guys have done any extreme UTVing. But here's me. I got my friend's kid in the back, and then my kid over there in the helmet, and got the wife in there. But there, you're we pretty close to dumping it. We're riding up on 3 wheels here. Once you go down this little hill, we got to take a right and curve down the other hill. And you can't really see it in here, but this hill is super steep. Even though it doesn't really show you that, it's super steep, and then it just goes off a cliff. So if you don't take a hard right at the bottom, then you're going to tumble over the cliff, which is not good. And the turning radius isn't that good on these things, so you kind of got to take it slow. It's not like a little Honda Accord where you can just whip the front end around. So it can be a little bit tougher. So we had to ride that close because that cliff drops off at the end. And then the rest of this little stretch right here kind of it's curved a lot, like puts you up on your side. In fact, my buddy made those tracks before trying to get up that sand, couldn't do it. When he came back down, he went up on 2 wheels for a minute there, but pretty crazy one. Next up, just crawling some rocks up here. This is my buddy's rig. So as you can see, that's pretty steep. We're pretty much going straight uphill. I did this one right after him. We did so much crazy stuff that like you can't get footage for, because you don't know how crazy it's going to be before you go down something. You get done and we're always like, oh man, I wish I would have filmed that. This thing right here is deceiving too. It's pretty much straight down. He kind of got the wrong angle for dramatic effect. I think when I took his video, I was like up over on this side, but you're pretty much pointed straight down. And yeah, it was pretty gnarly. That was a pretty fun one too. This whole stretch, we kind of got caught in the backside of these mountains, and we didn't really realize there was a bunch of like shelf rock like this that looked a little crazy, and we looped around and found a pretty crazy trail. And I think we did it the opposite way that most people do it, because all the guys, it was pretty hairy the way we went, but all the guys that we saw that were coming in the opposite direction and going up the other side. So I think it was actually probably easier for them than it was for us. Here's another interesting part of that same stretch. So with here, you drop down off the rock, and then since your vehicle is pointed down, when you got to crawl up the rocks, it's tough because it's tough to pop your tires up onto something. So this is pretty fun right here, getting down in here. And then, you know, that wall is pretty high. It's like 3 feet high or something. Those tires are bigger than they look. So I got to ride up this rock, almost tipped there. Got to ride up this rock to be able to get the transaction. Had to give it some gas and almost scared my buddy a little bit there. So that was fun. Here's me whipping up another hill that we found. This one was pretty steep. Again, sometimes the camera angles just don't do it justice. But it's crazy what these machines can accomplish. It's pretty easy. They're able to climb over like 3 foot walls pretty much with ease. Here's another angle of that one drop where you drop down and you're just really chilling on your front end. You kind of got to go slow because you scrape across the bottom right here, but you end up straight down. Luckily there's some good like soft packed dirt there to help you roll out of it, so it's not quite so abrupt, but you can see it's a pretty aggressive angle. There's just a nice little pic of the rigs on the mountaintop. And here is the one time I got stuck. So as you can see, my rig is basically down into a hole right here. And I was trying to come up this hill. Problem is I was just kind of going too slow. And so I was spinning on the dirt, and I let myself back up a little bit, not knowing, because there's a bunch of sagebrush and stuff over here, that there was a giant hole. Here's a picture of me trying to pull myself out using the winch. So I hooked the winch up to my buddy's rig, and the way the thing was sitting, I couldn't get into the door. So I had to climb up on the side. The door handle was probably like 8 or 9 feet off the ground. So I had to climb up there, get in, and then use the winch to pull myself out while he was pulling me. And I was trying to navigate that dirt, because if you see this tire right here, it's basically laying flat on the ground. My concern is that if we pulled, the tire would flop all the way flat and the whole machine would roll down this hill right here, which is probably like a, I don't know, 8 or 10 foot drop. It would just roll down. So that wasn't going to be ideal. So here's a better picture of the angle. So yeah, I just came up right here, and I wasn't going that fast. I should have just gave it a little gas. It's a pretty good climb right here, even though it looks sort of flat in this picture. But my wheels were spinning because it was loose dirt, and I just slid back, and I had no idea there was a massive hole right here in the ground. So once my back tire slid off into it, it just slowly tipped real softly. But you can see this front tire right here, it's almost laid flat. So the issue is you start to pull it, it just lays down flat, and you're just trying to pull the side out. You know, it's not ideal. So what I had to do was get creative and drive that way off the cliff. That way I could get the wheel to bite. Now this is a pic of it when I got it out, obviously, and as you can tell, that hole was massive. So that's it, guys. That's my update for the day. Really enjoyed being on vacation, but of course I'm glad to be back and just getting back into the swing of things. As soon as I turn this video off, I'm going to send those 3 airdrops. So congratulations to the winners. And by the time you see this video, you should already have it in your faucet. Thank you to all of you who like, comment, or subscribe, participate in my little giveaways. I truly appreciate it. I'm very happy that it seems like some of the protocols we've got have honest devs and they're at least working. We should get ourselves to the point, since we got in so early, that we should ROI on all of them. And if any of them do really well, we could, potentially make some really good money. A lot of these protocols have, a 300% max gain. But if you're able to put in $1,000 and 3x it over a couple months, that's a pretty solid return. You're not getting that anywhere in the traditional markets, and really, frankly, not getting that in most of the crypto space today. So hopefully we can make that happen with a few of these. Right now, I'm feeling really confident with the teams that they're getting this stuff done. They're saying they're going to get done. And hopefully drip, drop, draw is right around the corner. So shoot me a comment down below, ask any questions you want to. And again, happy investing.